My name is Bob Wilton. I'm a journalist. I've been investigating a story about a classified government program. So what you're saying is that you were a psychic spy?
A Jedi warrior.
I'd heard that the U.S. government was training psychic soldiers, and that Lynn Cassidy was the best of the best.
I've been reactivated. I'm on a mission.
I could come. Lynn's story was unbelievable, crazy, and completely true.
All right, so Men Who Stare at Goats, obviously starring George Clooney, among others. It's got a great cast in it, and I was super excited to see this movie. This is because we haven't seen a good movie in a long time, because we just got out of the summer, so I was hoping that it would be a good one. Ben, was it?
The best thing about this movie is its tagline: "No goats, no glory." That I loved. I didn't really like anything else, although it was occasionally amusing. It was a movie filled with some, not filled, but with spaced out funny moments. A really good performance from George Clooney, who really I don't think has given a bad performance in some time. I thought he was particularly good here. But it seemed really lightweight. I mean, the story made it seem lightweight, and this is not. It's not a lightweight story. The fact is, the truth is, John Ronson, who wrote the book, draws a line between these real-life sort of idea in the military in the 80s to fight, to keep pace with the Russians, these sort of psychic spies. And he draws a parallel between what happened at Abu Ghraib and Manuel Noriega with the blaring of the music and the playing Barney's dinosaur music to detainees now, that it sort of led to this degrading treatment of prisoners, which the guy who, Jeff Bridges' character, is based on, the sort of the leader of it, and he suggested this might happen. It could be a serious sort of look, that it could be fun along the way. Instead, it was just sort of, I thought, I didn't really know what it was about. It certainly didn't seem clear where it was headed or what was more important than anything else. I don't even know what the point, I literally can't remember what the point of the whole thing was, like where they were going. I don't know why Kevin Spacey, who's such a wonderful actor, had no role, no really understanding of why he was such a douche. I didn't, despite Clooney's really terrific performance, there was nothing, it was a lot less meaty than it needed to be, and got, I thought, very quickly boring.
So, Matt, was it supposed to be a comedy? Was it supposed to be an adventure? What was it supposed to be?
You know, I think it was supposed to be a comedy, and I feel like it kind of goes downhill from the opening title card that says, "More of this is true than you would believe," which has such potential. Right. Because I'm thinking, okay, what kind of craziness am I getting into? What kind of ridiculousness? And the movie never really gets there. You know, first of all, you spend, 15, 20 minutes with Ewan McGregor's character, background on him, that who cares?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, really. And, finally Clooney comes in, and that's when it starts to get interesting. But the movie never gets sharp enough for me. I feel like there's such potential to really skewer the idea or take a serious look, like you said, at how these initially, as we look at now, insane ideas about...
Literally, guys who thought they could stare at goats and stop their heart.
Right. Guys who thought they could walk through walls.
Right.
The idea, the Army was looking into psychic warfare.
Jedi warriors, they called themselves.
Right, yeah. And you know what? The Jedi warrior thing was cute once with Ewan McGregor, but I didn't need to hear that like 5, 6 times.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, it's cute gag casting, but enough already.
So the bottom line on it for me was, look, I wanted it to be good, but it wasn't, I mean, so I wish, in fact, they had explained how true it was. Like, that's their one thing, right? Because afterwards, I read about it, right?
Right. You don't know as you watch the movie what is true. And the important parts were, what's not true is Ewan McGregor, George Clooney, their little mission into Iraq. We don't know. That's all.
Right, but actually, of course, there was a First Earth Battalion. We know roughly that they tried the psychic stuff, but it turns out a lot of the movie is exactly right. Okay, and that makes it much more interesting in hindsight.
What these guys tried to do,
yeah.
This idea that the military was like, yeah, let's make a super soldier who can run through walls and can kill animals by staring at them.
Right.
And there was a whole lot of, and then, as I said, the author, John Ronson, drew a connection from that to what happened, to the horrible things that happened in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Right, but what's interesting is that they did recommission some of those guys for Iraq.
Yeah. No,
okay, and that little scene with that crazy little device where George Clooney hits McGregor a couple of times and stuff, that's a real thing. I saw a YouTube video where the guy uses it. It's called The Predator, and it's hilarious, right? And it's like, and these are all based on real characters, et cetera, except that particular story obviously didn't
Yeah.
happen, right?
And that made no sense and was largely rambling.
Maybe the way they should have gone here is like almost Blair Witch Project. This is a real story. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Then at least it's amazing. Because then without that, it was a little boring. It wasn't really that funny. You didn't really know where it was going. And at the end, I'm thinking, schwang, wang, wang. You know, and so I get disappointed. And you know what? I think I'd rather see 2012.
Well,
okay, boom, I said it. I said it.
You know, I feel like one of the problems too I had with this movie is that it's not real. You know, again, it's not sharp enough, and it's kind of just silly and mildly amusing, and I'm not really laughing out loud. And I kind of see where it's trying to go, but it doesn't have the jokes. It's not got the punches. And then once Clooney's character realizes where he's going, and they get to that camp, the movie takes this really schmaltzy turn.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, wait a minute, this is not what I signed on for. I'm not watching schmaltz. I don't want to hear about redemption of these guys.
Right.
Yeah, and my final note on it is, I'm actually tired of George Clooney's campy characters, right? I liked it in the beginning, you know, and I think he's good at it, and I think he's a good actor. The first thought I had coming out of the movie was, can I see George Clooney in a serious movie again, right? Because I'm tired of you know, like that the bug eyes that he does.
It's trouble to grow that mustache, so you know he's being silly.
Like he could have taken that character in a totally different movie and made it a really interesting, serious character, right?
I thought there were moments where he really was serious in the movie, inside of being this sort of loopy guy. Again, I thought he was really good. I think he's cool when he just stands in the room. You know,
I agree with you. I think he was great, and I thought Jeff Bridges was good. I mean,
it was Big Lebowski-esque at moments,
exactly.
but it was
I think
good,
it was
yeah.
like Lebowski on speed, almost,
Right.
like a little bit too much Lebowski than you really want to see. You know, I agree with you. Kevin Spacey completely wasted in this film.
Totally.
And for that matter, I kind of think Ewan McGregor was too.
Yeah, it was nothing. It was-
you know.
Yeah, and we're probably being too harsh on it. Like if you said to me, you know, would you? It's a lazy Saturday afternoon. Would you waste whatever it was, an hour and a half on it or whatever? Yeah, it's not that bad.
I'm taking this over 2012 because of the free hour.
The extra hour that you could be doing online gambling or something.
Totally, yeah, exactly. I think I could lose hundreds of dollars in that hour.